What's up, and welcome into Under the Hood with me, Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for downloading the podcast. Make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com. It's going to be in the description of our podcast, but if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, hey, check it out and subscribe to us. Also on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, check us out as well. Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood that's where you go. And we are live talking to you about the Chicago Bears. The Bears defeated the Philadelphia Eagles by a score of 24-15. Please leave your comments, like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you comment on our video here as we talk to you about the Bears. They're 9-3 on the season. They go into the belly of the beast. They go into Philadelphia, and they take on the reigning defending Vince Lombardi Super Bowl champions, and they beat them 24-15. And so to talk to me about the Chicago Bears here on this Black Friday, well, of course, it's Cousin Wiley. Cuzzo, are you there? I see darkness, and now I see light. There he is, folks. Cousin Wiley. There he is with his Thanksgiving Bears shirt as the Bears defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-15. Cuzzo, how are you?
I am doing – I've never been better. Never been better. I'm just fired up. You know, you had the two black quarterbacks on Black Friday.
Right away. Yeah, go ahead.
But no, this was the game we've been waiting for, to find out what the Bears for real. And they went into Philadelphia, a place that's hard to win in, and they ran the ball down the Eagles' throat the entire game. 300 yards on the ground. Like, I couldn't imagine the Bears doing that to a defensive line like the Eagles have. But Ben Johnson and his offense, and, you know, I got to start it off. God bless Dennis Allen.
Okay.
His defense.
All right. Again,
his Dennis defense Allen held up again. You know, 9 points, you know, 2 takeaways, and he made Jalen Hurts play quarterback, and Jalen Hurts hasn't been able to play quarterback this season. Fired up. Let's go, Cuzzo.
Yeah, I'm so happy for the Bears, 9-3 on the season. Some numbers and some history we got to talk about with this game with the Bears and Eagles. So Kyle Monangai, 22 carries, good for 130 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift, 18 carries, 125 yards and a touchdown as well. It's the first time since 1985 that you had 2 running backs that ran for 100 yards or more. Last time that was Walter Payton and Matt Suhey that both ran for over 100 yards. Clearly, Walter had to be very kind that day that he allowed his fullback to get 100 yards. That had to be a hell of a game. But I'm so happy for them because it's great to see that the Bears have 1, they have 2, and sometimes when Kap runs 3 guys that can be able to run the football, but also give the Flyers to the offensive line, opening those holes. And also you got to give the wide receivers and the weapons their Flyers as well, because down the field, they are blocking to be able to open up holes for Monangai and Swift. So I'm so happy for the running backs for this football team. I got this completely wrong, Cuzzo, because I said at the beginning of the season, like, don't the Bears need more in the backfield? Don't they need more? Like, I like Swift. I'm a Georgia guy, so I always like Swift. You know, so I'm all good with it. But I was wondering about the 7th round draft pick. Can Monangai be able to do this on this level? And guess what? With his vision, the offensive line opening holes, the weapons down the field opening holes, Monangai is a major threat for this football team. Together, they are quite a gruesome twosome. They got the job done against the Eagles, ran over a defensive front in the Eagles that's pretty formidable, and they ran right through them.
Yeah, they played bully ball, Cuzzo. Like, again, like I said earlier, I couldn't imagine the Bears dominating a Jalen Carter and the Eagles front 7 the way they did, but they made it look easy. It looked like 7 yards a clip almost the entire game. And 281 yards on the ground, 40 minutes time of possession. You know, like you said, the first 2 running backs with 100 yards on the ground in the same game since Walter Payton was roaming the backfield in 85. Like, that's insane. So the Bears are legit. And with a surprising Rams loss on Sunday, we're talking about a Bears team that's first in the conference. Yeah. First in the conference. You know, going into going into the 13th game of the season. I couldn't imagine this year. If you told me, oh, maybe in a couple years, Bears will be there. Okay, fine. This year, no chance. I thought they would be had a chance of being first in the conference after Thanksgiving, but here we are. Great time to be a Bears fan.
Yeah, it certainly is. And again, leave your comments, and I'll make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. We usually do this on Mondays. This cannot wait till Monday, because on this Black Friday, the Bears were as a standalone game in the NFL. We want to see how it would look. And boy, let me just tell you, I want to give flowers to Cole Kmet, because he's been blocking his ass off, and he's been doing the dirty work. And then he gets an opportunity to score a touchdown. Great pass by Caleb Williams to float it out there to Cole Kmet for a touchdown. I love seeing that. Also, on top of that, the other receivers being able to just extend plays, getting the first downs. Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Zacchaeus, who was not trusted for a few weeks because of the drops a few weeks ago, as you recall. They gave Zacchaeus a couple opportunities to score. He had 3 targets in the game. DJ Moore, 2 for 17. Every receiver on this football team feels that they can score 2 or 3 touchdowns. I get that. But as Caleb Williams continues to build and continues to be a better quarterback, he's spreading the wealth. There's a lot that he's got to feed, and I'm just glad the Bears came out on top offensively and was able to do what they could do.
No, I am as well. Like, Caleb missed a couple guys in the end zone. One of them, they ended up scoring on one drive anyway, but then I think his feet got crossed up on the pass to Odunze in the end zone.
Yeah.
But after throwing the interception on the screen and coming down the field with the Bears running the ball down their throats again, and him scrambling to his left and still having enough touch to get the ball to Kmet to really put the game away with that touchdown. Like, that touchdown was really, for all intents and purposes, was the game stealer. So it was nice for him, again, to come up clutch in the fourth quarter, despite him struggling for most of the game. So it's a big play and big conversion. And then he got that first down on his legs. It was good to see him. A lot of times he slides sometimes too early, instead of getting the hard yards, but he went and got that first down, stayed in bounds, and, kept the clock running. So it was all around great offensive performance. But then, like, we can't just gloss over what the defense did.
Yeah.
Still missing their 3 starting linebackers. They're playing guys that we've never heard of back there. And you got Jalen Johnson coming back, struggling a little bit, but you got Bayard coming up with a big pick. You got Nashawn Wright stripping the ball away on a tush push, taking the ball away on a tush push, forcing the fumble after Caleb's interception, and the Bears got the ball back, and again ran the ball down their throats, and Caleb got the touchdown. So it was nice all-around performance by the offense on the ground, by the defense just stopping the rush and just giving confusing Jalen Hurts, and then the special teams just did enough. You had a nice pin punt by our 4th round Australian. You had Santos, with a squib kicked it in the end zone, which brought the ball out to the 20-yard line instead of 35. So it was a really good team win, and we need more of this, especially going into these next 5 or so games that we have. So we have a winning season, first winning season since 2018, Cuzzo. So we've been almost a decade waiting for a winning season. We have our first winning season since 2018. So just build from here.
So there's a lot of narratives that were busted here, a lot of myths that were busted in this game. Look, you and I are on the same page that no matter who you play, you got to be able to win. Because remember, this was upside down last year. This is the week where Eberflus was fired, last year. So you're firing coaches and you're going in the wrong direction. You're upside down. So the idea that this isn't real, or 8-3 wasn't real, so you beat the Eagles 9-3. Well, what's the excuses now when they beat the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Eagles? There are no excuses. They are a good football team that still has room to grow. The Bears are good, but even and when I say this on Kap and J-Hood on ESPN 1000, and I say it on my platform here Under the Hood, when I say they have room to grow, I'm pretty much mimicking what the coaches say. Because the coaches say the same thing. Is it hate when the coaches say it? Is it hate when I say it? No. The Bears know themselves, Cuzzo, that they have a long way to go. They're 9-3, but they're not there yet because they're going to look at that film and say, hey, we could be able to be better as a football team. You always climb. Business, in sports, spirituality, whatever, you always strive for more. And the Chicago Bears are trying to strive for more. 9-3, Ben Johnson, unfazed, I'm sure by it. Unfazed, like, yeah, we came in here, we're supposed to win. We're going to find a way to win the football game. But something else I want to be able to bust, this myth that my partner David Kaplan says every morning, saying that takeaways aren't sustainable. Fuck that. We're done with that narrative and I'll make sure I let him know on Monday, the idea that, well, it's not sustainable. You can't they lead the NFL interceptions or takeaways. And so, what's sustainable? Nashawn Wright stepping in there on the famous tush push of the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what he did? He said, no tush push. How about we just knock the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands and be able to get a turnover? How about Kevin Byard saying, I'm number one over the last 4 or 5 years in interceptions. How about I'm in the right place, right time, and be able to get the football? So this whole thing, well, you can't keep doing this every week. Why not? Lovie Smith's teams did it. So we're done with it's not sustainable. It only helps the offense. The defense being able to get interceptions, Cuzzo, and being able to get takeaways, that's their job. They got to make stops. But at the same time, if you're not making stops, knock the ball out. Get interceptions. It only helps the team overall. So this whole thing is not sustainable. If you're number one, it's sustainable. So we're done with that.
I completely agree, because this is a Bears team that started the season at the bottom of the conference. Bottom of the conference, bottom of the division. And 12 games into the season, we've climbed the backs of all the teams in the division to be first in the division. And we're climbing the backs of all the great teams in the conference to right now be second in the conference. And depending on what the Rams do on Sunday, we can possibly be first in the conference. So I don't care if the national media or if some, scared local Bears fans don't like what they're seeing. This is a 9-3 team that on the cusp of making the playoffs and possibly, getting a bye in the playoffs. So, enough of the noise of this isn't a legit team. They just went on a road, against the Super Bowl champions and put belt to ass, in a place that the Eagles have dominated at over the past few seasons. So, this is a legit Bears team, and they're still injured, and they still have a ton of room for growth on offense. So we don't know where this team can go, offensively or defensively. They may be healthy for the first time when they play the Packers next Sunday. We haven't seen a healthy Bears team all year.
So, the Chicago Bears go on to victory, defeating the Eagles 24-15. You're totally right about that. And we are presented by Triller TV. Triller TV. You go to the app, Triller TV app, and they've the best when it comes to mixed martial arts, combat sports, pro wrestling, boxing, all that. Make sure you download the Triller TV app. They've got so much free content on there as well. So check it out. Not just in America, but across the country and around the world. TrillerTV.com, or just go to the Triller TV app. They support yours truly, so we support them on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. If you're just joining us, thanks so much for being with us here as we do a post-game show celebrating the Chicago Bears. They're now 9-3 on the season. They defeat the Philadelphia Eagles by a score of 24-15. I want to talk a little bit about Caleb Williams and the receivers. So there's a couple of things that I've heard from coaches, Cuzzo, when it comes to Caleb Williams. They just want him to plant his feet and be able to throw as accurately as possible. And you mentioned already a couple of times, like the Roma Dunze throw, a couple other throws. It's not just from the experts. The coaches just want him to settle in and be able to throw the football accurately. When you look at the game at the half and it's 10-3, I was never comfortable. I texted you. I said I was never comfortable when it was 10-3 because I'm like, whatever about the Eagles will get into the end zone. I mean, it's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, he's calm, he's cool. There's a lot of drama and a big storm around Philadelphia. He's cool about it, though. He's like, I know my receivers don't like me because they think that they should get all the footballs. AJ Brown is being like sarcastic in the second half, just like, Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Yeah, throw it to me. You saw that guy did 2 thumbs up, being like
Yeah.
sarcastic, like that's it. Give me the football. That's right, Jalen. And so he scored 2 touchdowns. But the point is, though, is that when it comes to Caleb Williams, they just want him to plant his feet and settle down. All quarterbacks miss their receivers, miss their targets. It's not just Caleb Williams. But the thing I'm sure that the coaching staff is talking about is just trying to get better with completions. When you're toward the bottom or last in completions at around 59%, 58%, it's something for you to work on. And so you saw it like I saw it. Like when you take a look at these numbers and when it's 10-3, I'm like, you got to, if you're not going to run the football, you've got to throw it more accurately, not over the head, not over to the left, not over to the right, but try to get it on the numbers as much as possible.
No, I agree. Like today, I mean, there were a few issues. Like he dirted the ball a few times instead of getting sacked or possibly getting a worse play. So like some of those were mixed in. You had receivers that slipped and fell a couple of times. But then there were moments where he was just inaccurate. And one of them, fortunately the Bears were able to get a rushing touchdown, but the other one, he took 4 points off the board because they had to settle for a field goal after he missed the Dunze wide open in the end zone. So they're winning. So him growing while they're winning, I'm fine with. But we're approaching December, and we heard from Ben Johnson at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, talk about that December is when the offense is going to start to click. And clearly, we're seeing rushing wise, they're definitely clicking. But we need Caleb to get a little more consistent in his passing because they're going to need his arm if they plan on going anywhere, this year as far as playoffs and beyond. So, it's disappointing. But you know what was always encouraging though, because he can struggle all game, but he never loses confidence in the fourth quarter. So when he needs to make a play in the fourth quarter, he finds a way to complete a pass. He finds a way to get those needed yards rushing. And like today, he found a way on rolling to his left and just lofted a pretty pass to Komet. Perfect ball, touchdown, pretty much game over with. So you need those things in the fourth quarter. Yes, you need clutch Caleb. Like I don't want to lose that, but I also want to see Caleb be great for the first 3 quarters as well. So Packers games, next 2 Packers game in the next 3 weeks. So hopefully we can see more great Caleb for all 4 quarters. And then if clutch Caleb needs to show up in the fourth quarter, fine. Let's keep clutch Caleb around, but we need some more consistency passing wise from him as well. And we also need the receivers to do their part, stay on your feet, catch balls that are thrown to you. And, the Bears will be fine. Bears will be fine.
I like how the Bears also utilized Luther Burden. You saw that sweep play on 2nd and 7. It was for a couple of yards, but it's just showing how you can utilize your weapons, Cuzzo, in a lot of different ways. Like it's not always straight up throw the football. It's not always straight up run the football. I like that there's a sleight of hand there at times, utilizing DJ Moore and trying to utilize the speed of Luther Burden. I'm telling you, next year, we're going to be talking about Loveland and Burden and Adunze. It's going to be special, man. It's going to be special. Like, I'm not trying to push DJ Moore at the door. What I'm saying is that with a seasoning, with the young players, this is going to be a special offense. And again, it doesn't have to be Caleb Williams throwing for 5,000 yards. What I'm saying is that just being able to be more comfortable in the pocket and connect to these guys and let them run. You don't have a bunch of plotters out there, man. You got guys that can be able to run with the football. Give them the ball on a sweep or throw the football 5-10 yards and let them just run because the speed element is there.
Loveland may have the best hands of any Bears receiver. Like you throw the ball in his area code, he's going to catch the ball. And we can't say that for every other receiver, but I like to have a safety valve like that. Just throw the ball in his area code. He will come down with the pass, and he's tough. Like they got a lot of tough receivers who just grind out yards. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this team obviously in December and beyond. But yeah, it's to have an offense like this, like we've been waiting for decades to see a Bears offense be able to produce at the level this Bears offense is. So sky's the limit.
Yeah, so I want to go back to the defense with you because we're going to see if we can get into hearing from Ben Johnson. I know he just took the podium here. Bears 9-3 on the season. Packers 8-3-1. The Lions are 7-5, and the Vikings are 4-7. First time the Bears have been 9-3 since 2010. The Chicago Bears. So, defensively speaking, if for those of you watching us for the first time, my cousin Wiley here has flowers for Dennis Allen. Always feels bad for Dennis Allen. Feels like poor Dennis Allen. He's never had a full complement of of defensive players. But you know what? It says something about being able to just press guys into service and say, listen, you're going to have to be the linebacker. If you are Obang Bamiga, or if you are the other kid,
my guy DeMarco.
Yeah, DeMarco, being able to just be pressing the service and help in a big way. DeMarco Jackson, who had 5 tackles, 2 solo tackles. Man, it just shows you the depth. But when you see players come off the scrap heap like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, or guys that's been on special teams or whatever, and they get a chance to play, you could see the coaching, but also you could see the production at the same time. If everyone wants to know, like, are these guys being coached properly? It's coaching, but it's also production, and that all becomes contagious for the Chicago Bears team. So I really love that.
No, it is, and you have to credit Ben Johnson and his staff, but you also have to credit Ryan Poles and his staff for finding the guys with the right makeup, because to be able to get that level of production, you have to find guys who, are wired properly. A Nashawn Wright, practice squad guy from the Vikings, and, he gets an opportunity, and he's pretty much probably stolen Stevenson's starting job. You can't put him on the bench. Like, there's no way you put him back on the bench. This guy has, is leading NFL in turnovers with 8 turnovers, 5 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles. He cannot go back to the bench when Stevenson is healthy. He has to be a starting corner. And this guy was on the Vikings practice squad. So, again, it's a kid with the right makeup. And you need those guys who are hungry, who willing to do whatever it takes to win. And they have a lot of those guys because they're getting buy-in from the coaches, and then buy-in from the veteran leadership. So this is, I don't know where this team can go, but like, I know they haven't reached their ceiling yet, and that makes me excited.
Yeah, and because it's to me, it's about game by game and finding a way to get better as a football team. Just think about how amazing this has been so far with what you just laid out: the injuries, the issues with the football team, and then learning on the job at the same time. Just like this doesn't happen for every coaching staff, because when you lost 10 straight and you had no hope and looks like everyone didn't want to be accountable on the football team, you bring Ben Johnson and the coaching staff. It's not just Ben, it's the coaching staff, to be able to preach accountability in training camp, and that being a hue and a cry and like a mission statement for the football team that I don't know what bullshit you guys went through when we weren't here, but that ain't happening here. Like, you don't, you want to eat, while you're watching the film, you're not bringing your tray in, because that was a thing, by the way. You brought your tray in to eating while watching practice on film. No, you're not doing that. No, it's going to be accountable. You're going to be an adult, and you're going to raise the level of this football team. And it has to start with coaching and standards. Under Eberflus, there wasn't enough standards. And so under Ben Johnson's coaching staff, man, it's night and day. Now you have to be able to listen to what the coaches say. Now you got to be able to execute. Now you got to be able to have a winning formula. Now winning's got to be contagious. So to me, it's never the coaches are the reason. It's never just the players the reason. Everybody's the reason. Because even those Eberflus guys, if they didn't do what the coaching staff's doing, they'd be out too. They want to keep their job with the Bears. So I just think right now it's a great situation in year one for Ben Johnson.
Yeah, and still at a 9-3 team, few believe still. So this is a team that's running off, that's won 9 of the last 10 games, and they still have a lot of doubters about what they can do. So like this, they're hungry. They're hungry to prove a lot of people wrong, and I'm excited to see what the Bears are going to do. One against the Packers in 9 days when they have a full complement or nearly a full complement of their defensive players, and then what Ben's offense is going to morph into in the month of December, because Cuzzo, if the offense takes off and the defense, continues to play solid football when they're healthy, I don't know. We may, be buying some late season playoff tickets, but
Yeah, man. I say this all the time that, what I do on ESPN Chicago with Kap and J-Hood on the mornings, or when we do our shows here on Under the Hood, it's so much better when the Bears win. It's so much better because it's not bitching and complaining about who's going to get fired. It's not about like what players are going to be cut and all this. You know what it is? It's just about moving forward. That's so much better. Puts money in the pocket, and also it puts smiles on our faces when the Bears are winning.
yes,
It's so good to be in first place than last because we're so used to the Bears being in last, Cuzzo.
the whiskey tastes a little better.
Oh,
The turkey tastes a little better. Everything just tastes a little better when the Bears are winning. Like we have, again, it's been almost a decade since we had a winning Bears team. So we've been at this point in the season most years talking about the draft,
yeah.
looking forward to the future, trying to figure out, what's going to be the position, can we swing some trades and sign some guys, and, or are we tearing things down to the studs? It's been a rough decade into
obscurity sometimes with this Chicago Bears team. That's exactly right. So we are talking about the Chicago Bears here, and we are presented by the fine folks over at Triller TV. Yeah, that's right, Triller TV for the best in combat sports. It is Triller TV, and go to the app. They are so kind to me, so we want you to be kind to them. They are supporters of Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood, so check it out, Triller TV, the app, especially for your combat sports. How about you and I do a little pirating of the Ben Johnson press conference? You give me a thumbs up if you can hear this, but I don't. For those that missed it, we should hear from the head coach of the Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson, as the Bears win 24-15. Just give me the old thumbs up, Cuzzo, if you can hear from the head coach of the Chicago Bears.
About that running game, I don't think we win that game, or if we're not able to run the ball like we were. Both the backs over 100 yards was just outstanding. You could feel decisiveness. You could feel them hitting it downhill. They turned on the gas and we're lowering their shoulders too. So that was so good to see. But it doesn't happen without that offensive line. You can't say enough about Ozzie and Joe and Drew Dahlman and Jonah and then Darnell. I mean, those guys, they were huge for us. And so really proud of them, really proud of the tight ends, the receivers. It's a frustrating game if you're a pass catcher because those conditions were challenging for us to get some consistency going there. And yet they still were a big part of what we were doing there in the run game, and they knew that going into it. So that was huge to see. Defensively, I thought our guys just played their tails off for all 60 minutes. And, we kind of harped on the importance of getting into these third down situations. And I think we created a number of those. And if my numbers are right, I think we were 4 for 12 in third down. So that was really good to see there by our defense. A couple turnovers were enormous. KB with another interception off a quarterback that really doesn't throw interceptions. And then Shawnee's fumble was, I think that was one of the turning points in the game right there. They're in scoring range and, high percentage play for them, and yet he was able to get the ball away from him. So these guys should feel pretty good about what they just did. It's hard to go on the road and beat a good team like that. And yet I think they still know we have got to get back to work next week, and so we're very pleased with where we're at. We'll be able to enjoy it for a couple days, and then we'll be right back to work and on to the next one because that's where we're at in the season. But really happy with how this one went today.
Ben, what message do you think this sends about your team?
I think it's the same message we've been sending every week, that we're just going to compete our tails off for 60 minutes. I think that's what I know about our group. They got a lot of belief in what we're doing. They got a lot of belief in themselves. They got a lot of belief, I think, in this coaching staff. And so that confidence just starts to develop and continue to bubble over. So I think we've got a really confident group right now, and we're excited for these next 5 games.
What about their ability to kind of stay in the moment, just not day to day, game to game? I know it's a big thing for you, but like, what kind of have you observed about their ability to do that?
Yeah, no, I think that's once again, that's a credit to the coaching staff, just trying to keep the main thing. I think it's a credit to our leadership too. You know, I got guys like Grady Jarrett and Byard on defense, and I know Joe Tooney. Like, these guys, they all know what good football looks like, and they know the consistency that it takes to continue to win in this league. And so it's easy for those young guys to come to work every day and just look at how these old heads are going about their business, and you just kind of fall in line. And so it's the same thing. There's no secret, man. There are no shortcuts. We got to go out next week and put in the same amount of work that we've been doing. And we got to continue to get better. We're still not at what we're capable of being yet as an entire team. And so we're going to continue to strive to put that full 60 minutes of 3 phases of complete football together. But these guys continue to get better each and every week, and I'm really proud of them.
So thoughts there from Ben Johnson, the head coach for the Chicago Bears. Anything stand out to you, Cuzzo?
No, like I always love how he talks about, what they did well today, but he always leaves the door open for improvement.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we did this really well. I'm glad we did this. However, there's still a lot of space for improvement. And he talked about, all 3 phases of the team, and that gives guys a goal to shoot for. He's just not excited to win 9 games. He wants more than 9. He wants to win a division. He wants to, win the conference. He wants to win playoff games. So I love how, he's always just nudging, where it's not over the top, just nudging the team forward. Like, hey, we can get a little bit better. We're doing well right now, but let's still keep our foot on the gas and let's try to get better than what we've been playing so far this year.
Yeah,
what about you?
Comments. Yeah, leave your comments for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Your thoughts about Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears being 9-3 on the season. Yeah, he's always even keel, and you kind of have to be. Every game is not winning the Super Bowl championship, and every loss is not the end of the season. There has to be an opportunity for him to say, hey, you know what? All 3 phases, I'm looking for the best 60-minute game possible. And he hasn't reached that yet. I know he's one of these guys that probably looks for close to perfection as possible. That, that's not happening. It's the NFL. There's going to be mistakes made. But, his thing, the reason why that he was hired, Cuzzo, is because he's here to be able to work with the offense, but most importantly, working with number 18, working with Caleb Williams. And so from his standpoint, he wants the offense to work. The running game was amazing because they found holes in a defense. I'm surprised in the Vic Fangio defense. There were so many holes on that defense, but ultimately he said, we're going to go with what works. And if Caleb Williams can help us along the way, cool. We don't need 3 or 4 touchdowns from him, but we want him to be more accurate, plant his feet, be able to get first downs, get into the end zone, that kind of thing. I want 7s. I don't want 3s, Cuzzo. I want more 7s from Caleb Williams. I want to talk to you a little bit about that defense for the Eagles, though. I am surprised how they can go with 6 or 7 in the box, but yet our offensive line moves furniture. Man, they were moving guys out the way. It was not shown on the TV footage on Amazon, but if anyone's got the All-22 when it comes out, maybe over the weekend or on Monday, I just want you to watch Drew Dahlman. I saw a wide shot of Drew Dahlman just pushing dudes 10 yards down the field. Like, it's one thing to be able to get your block at the line of scrimmage, but he's taking guys, several of them, and just moving guys out the way. These are big individual linemen on the Eagles front, and the offensive line has done a great job of being able to open those holes for the running game, or open those holes for Caleb Williams, or whatever the things that the Bears need to do. The offensive line has done the job. Whatever people say about Ryan Poles, and a lot of it is accurate, most of it is accurate, but he understood that he needed to be able to replace those offensive linemen from last year, because that was a fuck up. It was bad in the first year of Caleb Williams. But this year, to have those veterans out there moving guys out the way to help the running game, to help Caleb Williams be able to stay in the pocket and be able to run around, it's strong. It's strong. A lot of times those guys need a game ball just based on what they do.
Vic Fangio had no answer. All he could do was just say, and Johnson just shoved it down his throat. That's all he could do. That's really it.
Shove what? What's that now?
Big Ben went down his throat. That's all he could. That's all he could do was say
I see.
Yeah, but it was really remarkable the turnaround of the offensive line where you have a unit that can impose their will the way that they did this year in comparison to years past, where you had guys get blown up. Vic Fangio would have had a field day with the Bears offensive line in years past, but today, no, sir. Like you had the interior just again imposing their will with the help of Komet and Smythe and Loveland, and then the wide receivers downfield blocking. This is sustainable to me. Like this type of offense is sustainable to me because you just did this against arguably one of the best front sevens in the NFL, maybe top 5 in the NFL. You impose your will and you go up against the Packers next week. Why can't you do the same? Like Parsons isn't a threat, right? Isn't a threat when it comes to stopping the run. He's more of a threat against the pass. So, this may be a formula, until Caleb can get more consistent for the first 3 quarters. This may be the formula for the Bears. Just run the ball down the opposing team's throat and force them to stop you. And it doesn't look like they will be able to.
So if you were giving game balls, Cuzzo, to the Chicago Bears, you could only give away 2. Who would get the game balls? Because I've not seen the good, better, best celebration. I'm sure it's lit in Philadelphia. I'm sure it's lit. But if you're going to give game balls, and there's a number of people to choose from, and please put in the comments as well, if you were to give 2 game balls to the Chicago Bears, who would they go to? What would you say? So
I would have to give a game ball to the entire offensive line. Like I don't think you can just target one person. You have to say this game ball to the entire offensive line because they impose their will. But then, also, I got to give another game ball to Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen, 9 points against this elite Eagles offensive unit, 9 points. I think you have to give him a game ball. So I'm going offensive line, and I'm going Dennis Allen because you can't split the game balls for the running backs, even though they both, ran the ball really well. So it's Dennis Allen and the offensive line get the game ball. Okay, so the guys that busted their ass, they don't get anything. Can't you just split a ball? Can you just cut the baby and split the baby in half and just go half on the baby? Yeah, I mean, I guess you can, but they've gotten game balls this year already, so they know what they did, the importance of what they did, and you can't pick one. So you can't pick Monangai or Swift because they both ran the ball really well. But you have to acknowledge his offensive line because and Dan Rochar, like Action 93 Panama said, like Dan Rochar, what he's done with his offensive line has been tremendous. He's made this unit elite. So yeah, if you want to give one to the coach, give him a game ball. He came out of retirement to coach this unit, but I don't know how you pick between Swift and Monangai because they both were excellent today. So split the ball, yes. Action, I like that. That's a good choice. People have seen the video. I've not seen it yet. Apparently, Ben Johnson took his shirt off. So he's just so completely unhinged now because he's looking for other things. He's done the whole kneel thing and just saying, "Oh yeah, good, better, best." Now he's taking his shirt off. So now he's just wild. And by the way, he's going streaking. Go, good. God bless him. God bless him. Let him take his shirt off. Whatever it takes, man. It's been a short week. I was gonna say it's not a long week. It's been a short week from Sunday to Friday. You got to get healed up. It's how the NFL does things, by the way. They don't care that you've been in a series of car crashes as a player. It doesn't matter. Just get out there on Black Friday. Get out there.
Now, you play on Thursday, play on Friday. I don't care. Just get out there. They don't care about the health and well-being of the player. Just get out there. And the Bears said, okay, we'll take it upon ourselves in a short week to get this done. So, so we're getting the reports here that Ben Johnson, the pasty white chest, gets a game ball. That's what TR is saying. So let's see what else is going on here. We're talking about the Chicago Bears, and it's just it's so great that the Bears are able to come out on top over the Philadelphia Eagles 24-15. Okay, Cuzzo, we need your prediction here. Now that the Bears are 9-3, the Bears' next game against the Green Bay Packers. So please tell the audience, now that the Bears are able to win 24-15, how can the Bears beat the Packers and give the final score of the game? Your prediction, sir.
All right, eating cheese all week. That's for starters. We got to start eating cheese all week. All right, gather around, boys and girls. November 17th, 1963. That was the last time the Bears and Packers played a game for sole possession of first place in the division. The Bears won that game 26-7. And JFK was killed 5 days later. But the Bears won a championship that year. So we go in and we're facing Love. And Toyota Love scares me a little bit. The guy has 32 touchdowns and 2 interceptions once Toyota starts, since he's been a starting quarterback. But Josh Jacobs has struggled this year on the ground, 3.9 yards per carry. And I believe we're going to see the best version of this Bears offense. We're getting healthy on defense, more importantly. We should have our linebackers back, or at least 2 of them back in the next 9 days. So if 26-7 was good enough in 1963, 26-7 is good enough for me today. Bears put belt to ass against the Packers, 26-7. Bears take full control of the division. Bear down.
26-7, did you say?
26-7.
We do these predictions on J-Hood and Cousin Wiley all the time. And, actually, you've been right more than you're wrong, because it ends up being a Bears victory. So no matter the crazy score that you put out there, they've been victories. So you're a winner. You're a winner, Cuzzo. So doesn't matter. Now, we have a long way to go, and we'll get into next week. And by the way, this is not the only show that we're going to be doing. We'll have plenty of content about the Chicago Bears and their role right now in the NFC North in the National Football League. There's plenty of content. Make sure that you subscribe to this podcast, because we'll have a lot more features, a lot more guests, and me and Cuzzo are going to go through talking about the Chicago Bears a lot here as they just continue to roll. We've been doing it every week if you're just joining us. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. As we talk
and leave some comments too. Leave some comments and let us know what you think about the show, what you would like to hear more of. But leave some comments.
And when he says that, he's talking about the ladies. He doesn't mean the men. So just that's who he's talking about. When he says comments, he's looking for some kind of phone number. For a good time, call Big Shirley. That's who he's talking about. He's not talking about you, the ardent male, Bears fan. He's talking about the ladies. That is correct, isn't it? Okay. So when it comes to the Bears and the Packers, here's the one thing, and we saw this on Thanksgiving, Cuzzo. The Green Bay Packers are no wallflower. What we saw from the Packers against the Lions on Thanksgiving is like, got into a nice groove offensively. They had the Lions on the road on the back pedal, to the point where you started to think, are the Lions, going in the wrong direction? They kind of are. So don't let the Packers get hot. Every week there is a test. And no matter if you are not impressed with the Steelers or the Giants or the Saints, it doesn't matter who you're impressed with. You got to be able to win these football games. You got to get better. So here's the test. You take on your biggest rival, the Green Bay Packers. And so what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Because it's the Packers, it's the Browns with a strong defense with Myles Garrett, and then the Packers again. So now it's up to the Bears to do something about it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Like we're seeing podcast Parsons come alive as an edge rusher over the past few games. He's been playing phenomenal for them. Love has been, he had an excellent game yesterday. Played great. 4 touchdowns. He made the timely throws. So this is a tough Packers team. And talent-wise, you can argue they're better than the Bears, probably talent-wise, at least when it comes to elite players.
Mm-hmm.
But, the Bears are still first in the division right now. So the Bears' job is to not allow the Packers to climb their backs and take first place from them. And I think this is what Ben Johnson has been living for. He's owned the Packers when he was a Alliance offensive coordinator. So I think he knows the defense and the right buttons to press offensively. And then, like I said, again, I think we'll be healthier when it comes to linebackers and healthier on defense. So you're giving Dennis Allen close to the team he expected to have, in 9 days. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, but I'm hoping that the Bears can continue to improve and they get a big win, because this will be really a statement win if they can go on the road and put belt to ass to the Packers and get a win. They should have had 2 last year, so Caleb has risen to the occasion against the Packers, and hopefully he can do the same thing again next Sunday.
Yeah, we're going to find out. We got plenty of time to be able to look this game over. But, I mean, again, it's another hill to climb, because it's the Green Bay Packers. And because they have been the hammer and we've been the nail for a long time. Time to change the narrative. Time to do that, right? Another victory for the Chicago Bears. And this one against the Philadelphia Eagles, the champs. And there are no excuses. The Bears went in there and beat them. It wasn't a last-second cardiac Bears victory. And even if it was a cardiac Bears victory, who cares? Win the game. Win the game. That's what I'm looking at. So so the 3 things I'm overjoyed with, obviously, with the Bears victory is that the running game was working. And I know that there's a lot of coaches in the NFL, that say, yeah, our game plan was to be able to exploit this on the linebackers or this in the secondary. We could throw over the top, or we can be able to, do some things that are different offensively. And Ben Johnson said, no, we're going to run right at them. And I was a little concerned coming in the pre-shows. I was like, can you run the football against this defensive front? Yes, you can, over and over and over again, to get them back on their heels. So I'm happy with the running game. I'm also happy that the defense was opportunistic. Love Nahshon Wright. This dude about to get paid. Okay. Somehow, some way, this guy's going to get to a Pro Bowl or get paid or something like this. There's no way you have this kind of a production and not get something for it somewhere down the line. Not only just like a spot on the football team, but he's been one of the best players on the Bears in the secondary. So I'm happy with Nahshon Wright and Kevin Byard being able to be opportunistic defensively. And I'm just happy for the offensive line. Caleb Williams did get sacked. What's the official numbers? Because just the 1 sack? I don't have it.
I think it's just the 1 sack. Yeah. It was the Jalen Carter sack. But it was more of a coverage sack than it was really.
It's official for 2 total.
Okay.
1 for Carter,
one for
Nolan Smith. So
yeah. So
you got 2 there. But I'm just happy for the offensive line. Like they have done the job for the Chicago Bears. They certainly have. We should, by the way, mention that because it's not just chilly. It's frigid now. It's old man winter's here. Okay, so that's why we've got the under the hood hoodie. You see right here in the merchandise. Make sure you represent the podcast that you just subscribed to, Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. We've got merchandise. We've got hoodies, and we've got T-shirts, and we got tumblers, and we got so much. So make sure that you check out the merchandise that's in the link tree. It's in the bio of this podcast, whether you're listening or if you're watching. Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. We got plenty for you. A great stocking stuffer. Get your socks stuffed with Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood merchandise. You would agree, sir, it is restaurant quality, correct?
Absolutely. Top shelf, restaurant quality. Great to have, especially when, we're about to Old Man Winter is about to, come out. And then it's a great way to support my cousin, a guy who has provided all of us with top shelf sports analysis for 30 years and, just brings it every day. The energy is still there. The knowledge is still there. And it's so easy for someone to slack off after a period of time. And Cuzzo has stayed consistent. So it's a great way to show your appreciation. Take photos with the merchandise, tag Cuzzo in them, so to let him know that you support him and you support his platforms. But yeah, definitely go to Under the Hood and get you some quality top shelf merchandise.
It's all available right now, men and women's right there. Great for the holidays. It's going to be in the bios. I have a link tree, and so you'll be able to see Kap and J-Hood in our podcast. You'll see Under the Hood podcast and also YouTube, and of course our UTH merchandise. It's right there for everybody. Cuzzo, any final words here? Because we still have comments. We're going to read your final comments, so let's get them in here. Your thoughts about the Bears and their victory over the Eagles, 24-15. So what do you think, sir? What's your last thing?
Eat cheese. Eat cheese. That's it. Eat cheese.
Under the Hood contributors. Charles says that protect your hoodies, Kings. That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. The ladies in your life, or the significant others in your life, love to take the hoodies, especially when it's chilly, when it's cold. So this is an opportunity for you to buy it and then put it away so they won't take it from you. So there you go. You need to do that yourself, by the way. So there you have it.
News view.
Okay, so Dave Carmichael's asking the question, what is the name of my wrestling YouTube channel? It's Good Karma Wrestling. Good Karma Wrestling. It's available right now. We have something special to announce about Good Karma Wrestling. We just won't do it here. Something in January where a lot of people can come watch the Royal Rumble with us on Good Karma Wrestling. So check it out. Good Karma Wrestling. This is podcasts on Spotify, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube. YouTube channel is Good Karma Wrestling. How about that, Cuzzo? We're all over the place.
Hardest working man in showbiz.
Well, these bills don't pay themselves. I've still got the lights on for another month, so there's always that. So, yeah, it is time, sir, to eat cheese. That's right. And again, we appreciate you checking out Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Yeah, we're always here. Just hit that subscribe button. That way you miss nothing when we discuss everything under the sun, including the Chicago Bears. It's going to be fun to keep talking about this Bears team because it's a fun team, Cuzzo.
It is. It is. Like, this is it's a refreshing season. I think we all needed this. It boosts spirits around the holidays and, gives us all something to look forward to every week.
So, by the way, is our mascot here? Where's the mascot?
He is. But I'm very superstitious. So, like the last few, he hasn't been on. So he's present. He just came down. He's sitting right next to me. He's present, but no problems. But just want to give him. Let's give him the Packers game and see what happens. Let's see what happens after this Packers game, and then we'll bring him in.
So for our new viewers and listeners, we have a mascot of the show, and it is Cousin Wiley's dog. And we're not going to call his name because once you say his name, he'll start leaping up on Cousin Wiley. He'll break the mojo. So he's been with us for years on this podcast, but you're saying that you're superstitious, so he won't appear right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, but he's with me right now. He is. Okay. Like he knows what's going on. He's just waiting for the word, but he's going to be pissed he doesn't get the word. But
yes,
still love him the same.
Yes, we usually call his name, and he leaps up, and the great dog that is our mascot usually is part of the show, but not today because the Bears have been winning without him. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, it makes sense to me. So if the Bears take an L, then he can come back to the show. Exactly right, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Lastly, Cuzzo, did you have I hope everybody, by the way, that is watching and listening had a wonderful Thanksgiving and hope that you have a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. It's been great for me, man. I've watched, not only did we have a fun time watching the NFL, but college basketball, college football. It has been a delight. Checking out
It is.
just the whole sports landscape. It's a great sports weekend.
It has been like I sat yesterday in 8-8, but then just watching football all day. Obviously watching the Bears today and getting ready to consume some NBA basketball in a little bit. So yeah, it's a great sports weekend, from NFL to college football to the NBA. It's a great time to sit down and just eat, drink, and just be happy around the people you love.
I'm definitely happy with this Chicago Bears team, and I'm thankful for you on this Thanksgiving for checking out Kap and J-Hood on ESPN 1000 every morning between 6 and 9 a.m. Central Time. For those who are not familiar, the podcasts are in the description of the bio for my morning show with David Kaplan, as well as Under the Hood, as we give you just a lot more. We give a lot more. Baseball in the offseason, college football, the Bulls in the NBA, and so much more. And of course, more NFL and Bears, because we are talking about a winning product, Cuzzo. So I'm thankful for you for joining me on this podcast, and we got a lot more Bears to talk about. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, we are thankful also for Triller TV for being able to be a partner with us on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. You love your combat sports, go to Triller TV, go to the App Store, make sure you download the app and check out all of the combat sports they have for Triller TV for you. So for Cuzzo Wiley, I'm Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for checking out Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment to our video here as the Bears win. The Bears beat the Philadelphia Eagles. You could take your excuses and cram it. There are no excuses when you win. Cram your excuses. That's what I said, because cram the excuses. Who cares? The Bears won. Love it. You got to just keep the momentum going. So we'll talk to you next time with another edition of Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. So long, everybody.